This college football coverage is sponsored by Bob Moore Kia of Edmond.
Welcome, everyone. Recapping last weekend's game with West Virginia, I thought a great environment to compete in and play a game. Sold-out stadium. I thought second time being there, I thought it was a great venue to compete in, and they did a great job. Coach Holgerson and his staff are doing an excellent job at West Virginia. They've played a tougher schedule here in the first 4 games than probably anybody in the country, probably safe to say. So, but again, a team that really played hard, fought hard, and coached well. And I was very proud of our team, the way we handled the entire night. To go into a tough place to play, rowdy crowd, and at night to play the way we did in that. Offensively, we handled the line of scrimmage. I thought Trevor was excellent with the plays getting in, signals, audibling. We had very few, if any, line of scrimmage issues, problems starting the play. So I thought he really handled being away from home in that atmosphere great. Obviously, we ran the football really well. Trevor threw it well. We had a really strong day. Samaje Perine, just an exceptional day. Great. He has great power, strength, vision, great feet for a big guy, even for a little guy. He's got great feet and to get through holes, and you see his strength and power when he's breaking tackles. He was player of the game, along with our 6 offensive linemen that played the most. Our 6 offensive line thought they played in a great way, protected the quarterback, ran the football, got on people they're supposed to get on, finished blocks well. They really played great up front. Sterling, of course, had another 100-yard game. Defensively, had some troubles early with some deep balls, but again, settled down in the second half and really played a great second half to help the offense as a team. I thought we played really well. We were able to take control of the game in the second half, really controlled the run game really most all of the day, and changed up a couple coverages in the second half that helped us. And, again, forced big plays. We've got 3 turnovers, 3 sacks, created some field position in those situations. So we had some big plays defensively as well. Eric Stryker and Quentin Hayes were our players of the game defensively. Was really excited, too, along with, like I said earlier, a great team win. I thought our kicking game was as good as any game I can remember, in that all our kickoffs were out of the end zone. We had 130 or 40 yards in kickoff returns, 100-yard touchdown. Michael Honeycutt was again perfect on the day. Jed Barnett averaged 49 yards a kick, or 48 yards a kick, and had a 65 or 70-yarder on the one that we didn't quite down, on the 1-yard line. So that was, all of that was really positive to go along with the offense and defensive performances. So what we'll do this week is we're going to practice Monday through Thursday. Monday and Thursday being a little lighter days. Tuesday and Wednesday we'll go at each other and compete against each other a little bit to try and stay sharp. We're going to try and focus the first day or two on any issues we've had in the first 4 games, areas we feel we can improve and concentrate on those areas, and so really work on ourselves the first couple of days, and then get an extra couple, 2-3 days on TCU leading into next week.
What have you learned about this team through 4 games?
Well, for me, they've been a great group to coach in that they really listen. They're listening to us as coaches, and they've been really accountable to one another in the way they practice, the way they prepare, the way they've walked into games, and that's what's exciting as a coach. Just the way they have gone about their business. On the field stuff, it's for the most part been positive, but again, we're so early in the year. We've got to push to improve in every single area is what we're after.
So far, your offensive line has been a major constant you can count on in every game, except for one. You've been missing a key player. I don't think Tyler Evans played Saturday. This line has so much depth that no matter what happens, it seems like you can continue to roll along.
I feel like we are a really strong group. They're an experienced group. That's been talked about. And we do have, and even our other guys are in this. Derek Forniak, Josiah St. John, even in the tackle spots, are really coming on, and we feel confident with whoever's in there. Those guys are all getting better and are growing in their positions, and along with the guys that have already the great experience.
Is Evans doing it? Was that a coach's decision, or was he hurt?
Yeah, Tyler's been was a little sore last week. He'll be fine. He'll practice today. He was a little sore last week and had a minor episode in one of the team periods and was just a little sore.
Sterling Shepard had a little bit of a hitch in his step there on Saturday. How's he doing?
He's fine.
What about Sanchez?
He'll be fine. This will help, to get past, that injury, hopefully, in these, make sure he doesn't have any contact here in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully that should make a big difference for him.
How about Tapper?
Charles is he's fine. I hope I'm. Charles has a sickle cell trait, and at certain levels of exhaustion, that's dangerous. And he's taught through our medical team that if he gets in that situation, no pun intended, he has to tap out. He can't, he can't function at a certain point, or it's dangerous too. That's where you've heard of, some incidents through the years in training and going through out of season incidents where people have had catastrophic, even deaths. So. For instance, when we're in the out of season, we don't even allow Charles to go through our different stages or drills that we go from one to the next to the next. He's just not capable of doing that, or we don't want to put him at risk of something really happening to him. So he just got to a point, and that hasn't happened before. Last year it never happened. He got to a point in this game where he felt he was getting at a dangerous, because he only knows, the symptoms as they're happening.
West Virginia's plan obviously was to load the box and force Trevor to beat him throwing the football. Are you glad you got this game behind you and maybe anticipating more of that? That's nothing new. So I'm glad in the way we handled it. Even when they loaded the blocks, we blocked it really well. We ran it well. And Trevor threw a lot of really good balls, a lot of play action, a lot of, intermediate routes, and again, I think there's still more there that we can continue to build on. We need to, and I think we'll keep improving at it.
Bob, how tough is that for you with Zach when he's out there playing with one arm to keep him out there?
Yeah, it's hard. And you check with him on the side, and and it's an issue that you feel won't get any worse, or it's a muscle issue, and so it isn't like there's a joint damaged or something. So it's tough, and you got to keep checking with him to make sure he's okay. And he wanted to keep playing, so he did the best he can, and I'm sure in his heart he knows he can be better than that, and I'm sure he will as he moves forward. He's had a lot of great games for us.
Is there a situation where you or one of your staff said, hey, you need to come out, and you said, no way, I'm coming out, or anything like that? Or?
No, we were about to, and then, but no, it didn't get to that. And to be, fair to he and Julian, at times we've got to, in certain instances, give them more help. Not that they need it, but they need it sometimes, depending on who the other receiver is and how they're, protecting those kind of things. We've got to, and we did in the second half. In the second half, it made a big difference when we started to deploy a little more help in certain situations. It made a difference.
Is what he's going through similar to what Aaron had to deal with last year?
I don't think it's the same thing. It could be just in that it's a shoulder, but I think they're different injuries. But so in a way, yes, but overall, I think it's a different injury.
Pretty good streak for Sanchez. 5 straight games with an interception. I think it's 6 out of 7.
Yeah,
does he just have a knack for the ball, good hands? What is it that?
I think all of that. He does have a knack for seeing the ball. He does have great hands. When he gets his opportunity, he makes sure he
he takes advantage of it and doesn't drop it. And and he does have a knack for finding the ball, and it's hard to deny that. I don't know how many people have had 5 in a row, like that, but probably not many.
In the future, Alex Ross looks so good in space, so dangerous. Could you employ him at a slot? Next year you're going to be loaded at running back to do different things with Alex Ross to get him the ball in space.
To a degree, you can. It's not that simple to just line up in a slot. There's some skill to getting away from the people that are going to be out there trying to jam you up and to negotiate all the space in there with linebackers and people, right in front of you. So, but we want to continue to get Alex his opportunities because he's explosive. He had another big run from the line of scrimmage also, and he's had a lot of big plays here in the last few games.
What's health?
Don't know here today. I'll see him here today when we go to practice and be updated. But we're not looking to see him do anything this week other than rest and heal it up.
Was Samaje the kind of guy when you first saw him this year that you had freshmen that you saw and the coaches look at each other and that they're going to do something special and maybe the public doesn't know? Was he kind of that way when you saw him in practice earlier?
Sure. Yes, in that you have to acknowledge the strength and power and the size, and when you get someone that has all of that to go with the rest of his skill and how bright he is, how hard he works, and then you look at his quickness and feet, to go with that. So it's pretty simple to see, really, and that's why we recruited him.
What backs are bigger this year? Do they wear guys out in your offensive line since be more physical this year? Does that wear on a team in the fourth quarter, you think, maybe?
Well, I'm not, you would think so. All I'm saying is you would think so. I'm not saying it did, but in the end, you would think so. The more you keep coming at them, and if you're executing in the right way, we are bigger. We're bigger up front. We're stronger up front. We're bigger in the backfield than we were a year ago.
Bob, you talked about the offensive line. How much of their improvement do you attribute to Bill? And if so, what sorts of things has he done that's allowed the offensive line to improve the way they have the last 2 years?
Well, I think all of them, with the improvement, there's experience. I think you always, with experience, you have better players. And but Bill, technique-wise and attitude-wise, and how they read defenses. They really do a great job, and Bill's teaching them that, and they're executing to go with it. So he's been a great teacher with them.
Before the season, you talked about ball security with the new running backs. They haven't put the ball on the ground. Can you talk about the work they're doing?
Glad we're not playing this week. That's right. They have been great. They've all been really solid with the football and protecting it, taking care of it, and getting extra yards without putting the ball at risk.
Maybe with Samaje, maybe we even overlook. I mean, Adrian had some security issues his freshman year.
A lot of young people do. You're right, because they're not either ready for the contact at this level, or because they're not hit as much as in the high school level maybe, and so they're not as aware of protecting it, or people strip it more at this level than they do it in the high school level. So Samaje's been really, you could tell, smart about taking care of the ball.
Bob, you've had great punt returners in your tenure at OU, but Alex has now had 3 big returns in 4 games. Brennan had some pretty good success at kickoff returns here. Is this kind of an unheralded unit that needs to be thought of in a little better way on your squad? You seem to return kicks pretty well.
We have, through the years. I don't know why we don't get that label. Maybe you ought to give it to us, but we've had more than our share of big returns in big games when we've needed them, and there's been a lot of punt returns and kick returns. So that was a huge one the other night. You could see, from my vantage point, I could see the hole open up, and Alex you could tell exploded through it. He saw it too, and And with that speed, I think Dean, told me that one of his track and field buddies timed him from goal line to goal line at 10.5. That's not bad in pads, you know, so that's pretty good.
You put JT Thatcher up there at the top of your best kickoff returners?
Who?
JT Thatcher.
Absolutely. JT was fabulous. Punt return and kick return. Yeah, JT was a great one. He had that strong ability to run through people that are just grabbing at him. You didn't grab him and pull him down.
Your brother Mike said he's a lot calmer this year. You see that?
Oh, you know, it depends on the situation. At times he is, at other times he isn't. So that's always the case.
You two get in arguments at all?
No. We'll yell at each other, but it isn't an argument. That's been going on for over 50 years, Al.
You asked Knight this. When's the last time you had a fight with Mike?
I don't know. That was a long time ago. That had to be back in grade school.
What were you so upset about at the beginning of the game? Looked like you were trying to get someone's attention behind you even about Saturday night, no?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember, you don't want to remember.
Sideline? Was it a sideline problem?
Oh, yeah. They keep, for the second game out of 4, they keep thinking Dusty and Teddy and that whole crew is part of my coaching staff. I said, well, you guys keep asking me that. My staff's all over here. I said, I can't control what TV and radio and all these guys are doing. So, yeah, that's what that was. And I guess, and I could see, you know, they look like coaches, I guess. And so I guess Dana, and I'm not faulting them, he thought they were and was wondering why they weren't in the box. And so they're going to have to dress something different from now on.
Bob, the Oklahoma State didn't beat Florida State, and Kansas State didn't beat Auburn, and what was the other one? West Virginia didn't beat Alabama. But the way they played, what did that show about the Big 12 Conference?
Well, again, I think you could, you know, all of them were in tight, good football games, so they, you know, obviously they can play with anybody. You know, they've shown that, and I guess I'm watching TCU now, went up to Minnesota, and who's picked to be strong in the Big Ten this year, and TCU played really well up there. So I don't know what the other games are. I'm sure we've had more than our share of positive games, you know, here this year, and you know, we just had Tennessee a week ago. So there's, like I said, everybody's played pretty well, really.
Quentin Hayes seems to be better this year. What's he gotten? What's he more?
Quentin's playing great. You know, again, it's just experience. He's got a great skill. You know, he's one of probably, he and Alex, it'd be a pretty tight race who's the fastest on the team. Those guys can go. Daniel Brooks, I guess, would be right there too. But, you know, Quentin's fast. I mean, he has corner speed and then just really playing well, tackling well, understands the defense better, you know, where he needs to be in it, and making more plays because of that probably.
Quentin's a guy who, you know, was suspended for the entire year a couple years ago, started all the games last year. Seems like a guy who's also really matured the last few years.
He has. He has matured and become. He's become really a leader back there in the way he conducts himself in the out of season, the way he's worked in the out of season and prepared for the year, with his running, his lifting, his training. All of that's been really positive. And the things off the field have been really positive as well. So, you know, I think, yes, that Quentin has really turned a corner and has really been a positive influence here the last couple of years.
Was one of your requests when you ordered the alternate uniforms that these not be cursed like the last two were?
They not be what?
You didn't lose in your alternate uniforms this time.
Oh,
Built up a phobia thinking that was causing you guys to lose.
I'm not much on the uniform. Didn't win or lose anything. So how we play wins and loses. So.
What did you think about them seeing them out there?
It took me a while. I said to the official, we were talking out there, and I said, I have a hard time looking at it. I said, it doesn't seem like it's my team. So it took me a while to figure, you know, just to get used to it. But I thought it was positive. It grew on me. The more you looked at our team, you know, and then the overwhelming response from my demographic, meaning players I'm recruiting, young people on social media, everybody in that category seemed to really love it. So I thought it was really positive. around the country you see, most everybody doing it here and there. We're not going to make a habit of it. So it'll be, it was something that I thought turned out really, really good. And we won, as you pointed out. That makes it a little better. So.
Coach, the O-line didn't seem pleased with their play against Tennessee, and especially with Coach B going back to West Virginia. Do you think they tried to make a statement, and do you think they did in any way?
I'm not much on that statement stuff. I can't stand reading that, somebody making a statement. That's nothing I'll ever say. In the end, I thought we did play well. And whether it's because those guys had Coach B's back, I wouldn't doubt that. Those players really respect and appreciate the hard work Coach Bedenbaugh puts in with them. And he has a close relationship with all of them, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the issue. But they also are a prideful, mature, experienced group that if they haven't played as well as they can, they're going to know that. And then they're going to want to change it and make sure that they're improving. And that's probably was on their mind as well.
How are your linebackers playing?
Really well. Jordan Evans had a great game, led the team in tackles. Some great tackles out in space. And Dominique's been outstanding. Every week he's really been good.
Can you talk about the gauntlet coming up of 3 straight challenging games at TCU, Texas, and then K-State? You're a third of the way through it.
Yeah,
that would get you to 7.
I think this off week comes at a great time that we can, again, really focus on some areas that we want to improve and some things that have happened to us in the first 4 games that we can look at and try and adjust from. And then you get extra work, on TCU and you get a little breather here as you go into that stretch. But sometimes those stretches are, are positive in that, here they come, here they come, here they come, and you're ready for it. I can remember back in 2000, it was kind of that way. We had Nebraska, Texas, and Kansas State all in order. However, what was it? It was Nebraska was last, I guess, and it was Texas, K-State, Nebraska, I think, in that stretch. And so sometimes when they're all bunched, in that way, that it's a positive.
You didn't need the quarterback run game Saturday, but do you think in the future you're going to need it?
Sure, once in a while we will, but again, we're going to be selective on how much we expose Trevor and how much how much in a game and how many times he needs to be hit. This it's a long year, so that'll always be something that we'll have a chance to do.
No idea on Baker Mayfield and the NCAA. I mean, you're into almost October.
Right. I'm gonna wait on that. We got some information back, but we're still working on it. So we'll. I'm not just ready to say anything just yet.
Good information.
Good try, Al. Yeah, it's just we're working on it.
Coach, how's Blake doing?
He's doing really well. Had a good game the other night. Didn't have an opportunity to. I don't know if he caught a ball or not, but again, we're excited about what he's doing. He continues to make improvements, and again, hopefully we could keep getting the ball more. We'd like to.
Does that mean seeing more of the bulldozer?
We'll see. We'll see.
Bob, it looked like the onside was going to work. Was it just a situation looking back on it, somebody didn't get a call in, or?
No, we got it in. It was perfect. The ball, and we knew, Aaron had to be careful. We knew it drifted a little right, and you could see he's trying to. It just went a little more than when you practice it. That's the. That's how the ball bounces. It's not round, so we were pretty, we did it a bunch last week, and it was good. It's good, and didn't have one, and that one just kind of went further right than any of his others. And had it been this far different, it'd have been perfect. So that's the gamble, and when you try those plays,
Is that one of those things that you said you worked on? So obviously you saw that maybe you could. In game prep, maybe you could pull that off, but was it kind of one of those deals where the time you kicked off before, you said, okay, you knew you were going to do it the next time?
Yeah, I almost did it the one before, and I said, no, let's not do it. And then anyway, I just thought, you know what, it's there. We got 3.5 minutes or something left in the half. We could have a chance to score again, and let's do it. So it just, guys know the last time I tried it. was West Virginia and also, and it went 9.5 yards. So neither one worked.
Coach, what does it say about Sterling? I mean, game after game, he's producing 100-yard games. Everybody knows he's going to be your primary target for the most part, and yet he keeps producing like this.
Yeah, Sterling's, he's a great talent. He's explosive. He's a great route runner. He's got great hands. He can make competitive catches. So he's playing great.
Everyone talks about what Perine did on the ground, but I think it was his block that got Sterling outside on a middle screen maybe on one of your drives to help, help you guys out.
No, Samaje does everything. He's a blocker. He protects well. That's what I said earlier. He's a really bright guy, and he gets the offense. He doesn't just get running with the ball. He gets the whole thing.
He told us he only had about 130 carries last year in high school. And some of us thought that seemed a little low. Did you ever watch film thinking, why didn't this guy get the ball more?
Well, I can't say that I watched every game, in its entirety. I didn't. So it's hard, it would be hard for me to, and I wouldn't sit there and criticize a high school coach and his play calling or how they used them. But we have always loved, the player Samaje was, and Coach Gundy did a great job finding them and then building the relationship, early and getting them to come here.
Did you grasp the mental part of what he brings to the table right away? Because everybody can see he's huge, but from a mental standpoint.
Yeah, it didn't take long once we started working with him there in our August practices to see that he had all of that to go with the talent, to go with the physical talent.
What's his 40 speed?
It'd be low 4.5s, I think. I don't know that we have. We're pretty. We don't put our guys at risk to start the season of pulling a hamstring time in a 40, that's what I believe it would be.
That's what it was by average.
Hmm?
He said that was his average.
I would guess.
He seemed to get stronger or stay as strong the longer the game went into the fourth quarter, and the defense seemed to wear down to the point where he's leaving quite a few of them on the ground. Is that a sign of his physical maturity, that he's as good in the fourth quarter as he is in the first?
It's a sign of his physical maturity and his work ethic, because he has great stamina and to go with the strength. He really works hard in the out of season, his conditioning and Coach Smitty and his staff and the way they train him. They've got him prepared to do that.
34 carries is still a lot. Outside of Peterson, maybe Griffin, you don't give it to somebody like that very often.
And again, it shows his physical maturity in that he got on the bus and I said, "Boy, we wore you out today," and he said, "I feel pretty good, Coach." He was all right. He wasn't coming up there like he needed a cane or he had a big smile on his face, and he was bopped to the back of the bus like he had carried it maybe 5 times. So there's a lot to him. So he's got great stamina.
Bob, does it mean something more when a guy like KJ Young comes up with big plays for his quarterback in that environment on the road like that?
Yeah, it helps. And KJ keeps, again, every game he's having some third downs, catches, and some big opportunities where you need him, and he's come through. And Duran has, so those guys have to keep coming. Obviously, you can't live with just one guy, and those guys are, coming on and doing more, and that's a positive for sure.
What kind of progress is Micaiah Quick making?
Good. He continues to practice well, and we'll see when he has his opportunities, but he's doing really well.
What does it say about Alex Ross's focus that, everybody's talking about Samaje getting these touchdowns and all these carries, and yet you've got Ross as a player of the week?
Alex, I know, is a Big 12 special teams player of the week, and these guys all know through a long season they're all going to have their opportunities, and in one game to another, someone's going to have the hot hand and have more opportunities. And what I see is neat is they all pull for one another, and fortunately that's been our culture here. Even when DeMarco was here, he and Chris Brown were both 1,000-yard rushers. the first one to greet the other after a touchdown was the other guy. And it was always that way, and these guys are the same way.
Sterling has been such a big part of the receiving game that you've been shocked that he hasn't been able to make that impact in the punt return game yet.
Yeah, he will. I hope and I believe. The other couple weeks ago, he had a couple opportunities he should have taken, and he realized that after. So he's just getting more comfortable doing it. And we had almost a chance the other night. He went the wrong direction, or we might have had a chance at something. So, again, I think the more he does it, the more comfortable he'll get, and he'll have opportunities to make some big plays in it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.